So to go back, just to finish talking a little bit about Amy Coney Barrett and the kind of fight she's going to face, I was wondering, it was interesting to me that Senator Cruz said that he does not think that they will hold back because the base won't let them if they don't show up and fight. See, I was thinking, well, maybe they don't want to alienate voters so close to the election. But on the other hand, they alienate their own voters if they don't show up and fight the fight. So it is really, they're kind of caught in a vice as well, which is really it's an interesting, as always, just a fascinating political situation. So we're talking about the way they're attacking her for her Christianity, which is really an attack. It's not just an attack on Christianity. See, it's the attack on the values of Christianity. And it's not just an attack on motherhood or femininity. It's an attack on humanity, because humanity gets in the way. Humanity gets in the way of socialism. It's really an important point. It doesn't get in the way of capitalism. It just doesn't help capitalism. Humanity, it sort of gets in the way of capitalism because you might not buy something or you might not do something to earn more money because of your humanity. As I constantly say, the mistake that capitalists make, the Ayn Rand kind of capitalists, capitalism harnesses greed for the common good, and that is wonderful. But it doesn't turn greed into a good. See, that's the logical error that kind of Ayn Rand capitalists make. Greed is still a sin, and you can tell it's a sin because when capitalism is unrestrained by values, people do terrible things for profits. They build railroads, which is great for humanity, but they kill a lot of Chinese slaves who are working on the railroads as they do it. And so you need these values first. Always values come first. So the attacks on Amy Coney Barrett and her children and her adoptions and her opposition to Roe v. Wade, although Roe v. Wade is not going to be overturned by her anytime soon. That's not going to happen. But just her opposition to abortion, all of these things are human things that get in the way of socialism specifically, because socialism is selling you the idea that your creature comforts are more important than your freedom. We will give you stuff if you will give us the power to make decisions for us. We will give you free health care. You will get free health care. But if you say, want to smoke a cigarette or want to have a third child or want to do something that we don't like, we get to say, no, you can't do that because we're in control of your health care. And if you don't think that happens, it does. And if we want to say, you know what, you're too old for us to waste the common money on you, so you have to die now, they will make that decision as well. And never trust them when they say they won't make that decision, because they will most certainly make it. So this is why you get this kind of hysteria about Christianity, because it gets in the way of all the values, and femininity too, because femininity, again, is not a useful thing. It is a good thing. That's a big difference. It is something higher than useful. It is an actual good. I mean, just take a look at Bill Maher, at what he had to say about Amy Coney Barrett. This is kind of like the natural leftist reaction to what was hilariously called an Orthodox Catholic.
Apparently, the pick is going to be this Amy Coney. We'll all be saying this name a lot, I'm sure, because she's a nut. Religion. I was right about that one, too. Sorry, but Amy Coney Barrett, Catholic, really Catholic. I mean really, really Catholic, like speaking in tongues. Like she doesn't believe in condoms, which is what she has in common with Trump, because he doesn't either.
So, that is the typical thing. And always, I've said this before, but it's always sex, which is elevated to the level of your individuality, your sexual desires, your sexual practices. These are the things that you have to be free about. You don't need to be free with your opinions. That's like in Citizens United, we can cancel your complaints about a political candidate. But whoa. If we stop you, a guy, from dressing up in a skirt and lipstick, then we have really, really damaged your individuality, because it's not your opinions. It's always your sex, because you're just a material beast. That's all you are. And this really is the issue that we're dealing with. It's really not capitalism versus socialism. It's really not left versus right. It's materialism versus spirituality. It's an idea of a world made by God, of being creatures made by a creator, versus this world of just being pieces of meat with chemistry sets inside. I'll just end this here by saying, well, the thing that really is interesting to me, is when you look at Amy Coney Barrett. She certainly hasn't been held back by her opinions, whatever they are. She's appointed to she's nominated for the Supreme Court, so that she's obviously doing well in terms of her career. She's got these kids. The kids look happy. I don't know if they needed, I don't know if there's any problem there, but they seem fine. She's also, though, obviously brilliant. She's obviously one of those kind of once-in-a-lifetime brilliant jurists, like Kavanaugh, like Scalia. She obviously has that kind of mind. The way people talk about her as if they are just stunned by her intelligence. So my question is, why don't these journalists and Bill Maher, these guys who are moderately intelligent, why don't they look at more intelligent people like Amy Coney Barrett and Scalia and say, they believe in these things. Maybe I'm the idiot. Maybe I'm the person who's wrong. They never do, because they are fully invested in the materialism. And if you take that away from them, you take away everything. Before you go, one last thing. Hit the subscribe button so that you stay up to date on all our content.